the story behind the closing ceremony at the Ryder Cup last year. Can you tell us about that?
This is an exclusive. This is the first time this has been on television.
Thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, well, well, maybe I'll change my mind. Well, basically, picture this. That Europe has just miraculously recovered to win the Ryder Cup. All this great hubbub of excitement. The closing ceremony is about to take place. Part of the closing ceremony was the presentation from Medina to Scotland of the Ryder Cup putter. You know, the torch is passed on. It's like the Olympic baton, or not the Olympic torch rather, or the Commonwealth Games baton. This is an important part of the ceremony. So my job is to receive the putter and to say, I receive this putter on behalf of Scotland. Yeah. So that's that. About a quarter hour before the ceremony is about to start in front of 600 million people on a worldwide live television audience, Medina officials come up looking pretty distraught. I thought it was just because they lost, but no, they couldn't get the putter, the silver putter, solid silver Ryder Cup putter, off the wall of the Medina clubhouse because there was so much security and they didn't have a joiner. So they couldn't get it off the wall without wrecking the wall. So there was mass panic. So I looked at them and said, that's fine, we'll use another one. And they were bemused, some were grateful, because it just so happened that we in the Scottish stall had taken a club maker with us, and he had a replica silver putter which he'd made hoping to sell during the tournament, and there it was, still there. So I said, we'll use this one. So that putter I brandished at the closing ceremony wasn't the real Ryder Cup putter. But the whole thing went well, nobody's any the wiser, ceremony took place, all very satisfactory. We kind of decided afterwards, perhaps it wouldn't be the best thing in the world to mention this to the press, you know. And that was our plan. However, the club maker, who was from St Andrews, put it in his window with a picture saying, this is the Ryder Cup putter. So the gaff was blown. The good news is, the real Ryder Cup silver putter is now safely off the wall at Medina and is in the Eagles on display. And that is the real Ryder Cup putter. And I promise, absolutely promise, that we shall pass that putter on to the Americans at the closing ceremony of the Gleneagles Ryder.
How much will it have costed you? Because if I were him, I'd be selling it off for quite a lot. So. Well,
I don't know. I mean, it was out of my price range already. If I remember right, it was a 5-figure sum in dollars that he was after. And I would imagine, because after all, he was Scottish and a club maker, and a really nice guy, but an intelligent business person, I would think that price went up a bit after his putter was used. And only right problem, because he'd given us a loan of his putter for nothing.
Did you have to, he gave it to you for free, even though it was a final?
Yeah, but only, he went to give it back.
Well, yeah, but
it was a loan.
Yeah, he can say, you know, this putter was, I made this putter, look at it, look at me.
Well, he can, and quite legitimately too, because he did make the putter. It was the putter on display at the closing ceremony, and so therefore what he put in his window in the shop in St Andrews was absolutely accurate, and he was quite entitled to do so, but he did kind of blow the gaff and a little secret. And, best not to have secrets.
Final thing, what are you looking forward to most about the Ryder Cup this year?
I think Paul McGinley holding up the trophy at the end. I think the whole thing, I mean, look, this will be a big contest. And I mean, nobody should think just because Europe won it in Medina, then Europe's going to necessarily win it in the Gleneagles, because it doesn't work like that. And the Americans will be absolutely desperate to get the trophy back. And they've got some great players. But then Europe have got some great players. So, and obviously the Americans have Tom Watson as a captain, who's probably the most popular American golfer ever in Scotland. But Paul McGinley would be a great captain.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be nip and tuck, hugely exciting, do the world of good for Gleneagles and Scotland, and at the end of it all, coming down to the last match in the singles, Europe will retain the trophy.
Well, going back to the putter, so was that happened before, do you know?
Nobody's admitted it. I don't think so. I think this was the first time that the Ryder Cup putter hadn't been the putter. But then, I suppose you might say, given that the Ryder Cup putter must be priceless, that maybe it's not a bad idea to, at the closing ceremony, but there's a bit of hurly-burly, it has to be said. Maybe it's not a bad idea to use the replica, maybe we will use the replica again.
Well, just before we finish, will you be able to reveal what shop that was that made the footer?
I can find out for you, and I'll better check up, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you the information, and I'll send you the asking price if it hasn't been sold, just in case Alderman don't want to club together, you know, as a school all together, pocket money in, get in there, and buy the putter.
I don't think we'll be able to afford that. But anyway, thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to meet you.
But,